Hello and welcome to Oracle Database Administration. In the previous practice, we learned how to install Oracle Linux 6.3 on a virtual machine created using VMware Workstation. In this practice, we will learn how to configure Oracle Linux 6.3 in terms of kernel parameters, in terms of shell limits, in terms of packages. So the operating system will be ready for Oracle Database installation. There are two ways to configure Oracle Linux for Oracle software installation. The first way, which is automatic. The second way, which is manual. Manual means you have to configure shell limits, kernel parameters, install required packages manually, one by one. Automatic means there is a package, you just install this package and all prerequisites in terms of kernel parameters, shell limits, required packages will be configured and installed automatically. So we will go with the automatic way. In order to go with the automatic way, first thing, your virtual machine must be able to communicate with the internet. So in order to configure your virtual machine to communicate with the internet, you have first to check the VMware virtual machine settings. Network adapter must be bridged. Then from the virtual machine itself, connect the network, edit connections, go to the system Ethernet, go to the IP version 4 settings. You have to put automatic DHCP, click apply, click close. Then from the terminal, let us put shortcut to the desktop for the terminal. After making the change, restart the network service. Okay, let's enable automatic connection. Connect automatically. So each time you restart the network or each time you reboot the server, the Ethernet will be automatically connected. Let's make sure take an IP. Okay, ping, for example. Okay, fine. Now our virtual machine can communicate with the internet. As we said before, we will follow the automatic way to configure the operating system. To configure the operating system automatically, there is a RPM package from Oracle. You just install this package, and this package automatically will install the prerequisite packages, will configure the shell limits, and will configure the kernel parameters automatically. You just install this package and that's it. Yum install Oracle RDBMS server 12C release 1 pre-install. So as we can see, there are dependencies between the Oracle RDBM server 12CR1 pre-install package and other packages. So click yes to install all dependencies. So all dependent packages will be installed automatically. Yes. So after installing this package, pre-install package, all kernel parameters will be configured automatically, or shell limits will be configured automatically, or required packages for installing Oracle database software will be also installed automatically. And a user called Oracle user will also be created automatically. So if you check ID Oracle, Oracle user with the group on install with DBA also is there. We need to create additional groups if you want. Group add upper group add backup DBA, group add data guard DBA, group add key management DBA, and let's modify user mod -g install main group -g capital all other groups DBA upper install DBA upper backup DBA key management DBA data guard DBA for Oracle user. So ID Oracle. Now Oracle user has an on install as a primary group, and other groups DBA upper backup DBA data guard DBA and KM or key management DBA. Let's set a password for Oracle user. Paste pwd Oracle. Put any password you prefer. Make sure to provide a complex password. So now we configure Oracle user. There are minor settings remaining or configuration at the operating system level. Let us return back the network configuration to manual instead of DHCP. Provide the IP, which is 192.168.1.200, gateway 192.168.1.1. Click OK. Click OK. Let's restart the network service. Network restart. Let's double check if config. Okay, let's configure the host file. Let's provide the IP of the server and the name of the server, DB server. Ping DB server, it should ping. Fine. The last remaining configuration, which is let's stop the firewall service IP tables. Stop. This is the firewall of Oracle Linux. Now we stop the firewall at the operating system, but if you reboot the server, the firewall or IP table service will be started automatically. Let us stop this feature. Change config IP tables off. So in case you reboot your server, the firewall or IP table service will not be started. Let's check service IP tables status. This is not running. The last remaining configuration, let's create the directory that will be used to install Oracle database software. Make directory application change owner Oracle install. That's it. So in this practice we learned how to configure Oracle Linux Server 6.3 for Oracle database software installation using the automatic way by using the pre-install package. If you want to go with the manual configuration, you have to go step by step. You have to configure first the kernel parameters, the shell limits, install the required RPM packages that's needed for Oracle database software installation. If you want to follow the manual installation, you have to follow this Oracle document ID. Requirement for installing Oracle database 12.1 on Red Hat or Oracle Linux 6 64-bit. You have to go step by step. You have to install the required packages. You have to configure the kernel parameters. This is the kernel parameters. You have to configure also the shell limits and so on. But using the automatic way, all these configurations, kernel parameters, shell limits, required RPMs will be installed automatically without any manual configuration. I hope this video was informative for you, and thank you for watching.